Series with Jennifer Tosin-Komolafe. Thank you for tuning in into my channel. If you are here and you haven't subscribed, ensure you click the red button on YouTube and subscribe alongside with your notification button. On Facebook and Instagram, like and also follow my page. Today we'll be having frequently asked questions on the previous episode of the New Rules of Dating series. With me is Mbasiti Samson.
Thank you, Ma. It's a privilege to be here. Thank you for having me.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you.
And the last episode, episode 4, hookup or actual relationship, a lot of questions pop out of that episode. And today we'll be taking some of these questions. On our list, we have the first question which goes to Miss Mbasiti. If you are with a man that don't respect you, that beats you, has no respect at all for you, what is your advice on that, on dating series?
Okay, on dating series.
Yeah.
Okay, I've given my thoughts to a lot of people when it comes to men, when it comes to gender violence. I've always had issues with men that beat up their wives or girlfriends. So I've always had this belief. I always have this belief that once a man starts beating you, I feel like it's much more better you run for your life.
That's right.
Because some people may actually, it may be like something they've learned from their parents, something they've seen their parents do. Some may have pains, going through pains. So in the course of staying with the person, trying to learn from the person, you end up either getting injured, or you either even die. Some people die. Some people get killed. So I don't believe in, I'll be patient, I'll wait, I know he's going to come through. Or it's very dangerous. That is my take on that. It's very, very dangerous.
Oh, wow, beautiful. So here goes another question for you. And the question goes, and the person said, my challenge is that I don't understand the relationship and where it's heading to. What do you have to say about that? If the person does not understand the relationship or does not even know whether she's even dating or even a hookup. So what is your take on that question?
I don't think that's actually a relationship.
Okay.
To my own understanding. Because relationship is all about understanding.
Yes.
The main focus of relationship is understanding and communication. So I feel like if there's no communication and maybe he or she doesn't actually understand what the relationship is all about, where it's really heading to, I feel like you either talk to the person, if it's a guy or a lady, you talk to them and make them define where are we heading to, what are we actually doing. But if it's not working out that way, I feel like it's much more better if you quit.
All right. Based on your answer to this question, I could remember one of the episode I did, I think episode 1 or episode 2, and I spoke about dating and defining what your date is all about. If the date is actually going to move or graduate into a relationship, because a lot of times people just get to maybe like a guy can just option out that he wants to take you out, and a lot of times ladies think because the guy is taking me out, he has gotten me a lot of gifts, is enough for me to conclude and assume I am in a relationship, whereas that guy is not in a relationship with that lady. So in adjunction to what you have said, actually defining your date, it's very, very, very important. Don't assume you are in a relationship whereas you are just in a hookup. Here goes another question for you, Miss Mbasiti. I have an issue with my datings. I just asked her whether we are in a relationship or whether we are in a relationship, and she just got angry, asking me what kind of a question is that, since the space is 10 kilometers far from her, but still calling and sending message to him.
Okay.
I don't know if you get the question.
Yeah, I think I...
Because this is a question of a guy who is asking about a lady he is dating, and for him the way the lady behaves and then sound is as though they are not in a relationship, and he wants to actually define if it's a relationship or it's just dating. And each time he comes out to ask the lady up, what are we doing, are we in a relationship, in anger she pops out and then she like vents her anger towards him. And afterwards the lady gets to, you know, start calling him, exactly, trying to, you know, hook up, interact with. So what do you have to say about that?
I really think it's almost the same question with the previous one.
Okay.
It still links up to defining, because when you're like wasting time in one place without getting, you can't tell me you stay for years. Just okay, hook up. I asked you what are we doing, and then you just like, why are you asking me?
Okay.
You already know. You don't, just like you said, Mama, you don't actually assume things. You actually define things.
Okay.
It's impossible for you to be in a relationship with someone, and once, if actually the person feels something towards you, is no way you ask the person something and he eventually gets angry.
Okay.
Eventually the person, if you really care for someone, once you're being asked, like, really, yeah, I really want this to get somewhere. Why are you asking me that? There's something there. But when you get angry, it's more like, okay, you just want to be in there for the fun, for the meantime.
Okay.
Yes, you don't have any desire to go further.
That's right.
You just want it to be there. Or maybe if she's getting something from him.
Okay.
Yeah, much more, maybe stuff like maybe she's getting money or outings, just like you said.
And then maybe she's committed to someone else elsewhere, and then she feels that, okay, I can actually benefit this from this person. So of course she wouldn't want the relationship, the date to be off, but she's in a relationship with another.
Yeah, she's using it as an excuse to get some things. So when he asks, she doesn't actually come clean about it. So I think it's much more better if you actually stay away from the person. Eventually, if it's meant to be, they say it's actually meant to be.
Exactly.
So I feel like it's much more better if you stay away from the person.
Thank you, Miss Mbasiti. Shortly we'll be having a break. Stay tuned, we'll be back. Welcome back from the break. We still have a lot of questions popping out here on our list, and this question still goes to Miss Mbasiti. Miss Mbasiti, thank you. Welcome back from the break. Here goes the question to Miss Mbasiti. He said, I'm having issue with my man because he is womanizing. What do you think she should do on this basis? Because at the moment, the question here, the lady is trying to, you know, seek for an advice that she is in a relationship, not just a date anymore. She's in a relationship with this man, and the man womanizes a lot. What do you think is your take home on this?
Okay, womanizing is on another level. Well, the truth is that any man that actually can't respect his woman,
okay,
be it dating or relationship, it requires respect. So whatever you do actually reflects on both of you. So I really think prayers is among, because if you can't actually leave the person, I think prayers could work. Not everybody prayer works for, because some people don't actually want to change.
Okay.
Believe this is who I am. I'm not a one man, one girl person, one woman. Okay. Somebody I just want to have her as my wife or as someone in a relationship with, but then I don't want to stay alone with her. There's a saying that people normally say about eating one soup every day. You get tired of it. Okay. But I feel like that mentality is actually so wrong. Whack. It's just whack. Because I believe God has a reason why he made it one woman and one man. Okay. He has every reason. He has every reason. He knew why he did that. So I believe that anyone that has issues with a man or a woman womanizing, going out, if it's something you can handle, because there are people that actually take it. If it's something you can take, I won't blame anybody. I won't stop anybody, because as they say, love is blind. Yeah. But then I actually believe that, okay, if someone keeps on doing it,
now sometimes when people say love is blind, actually if you look at it very closely, love is not blind.
No, it's not.
Love can actually see. Yeah, love can actually see, because if your love is blind, how can you see? Then whatever it is you did not see in your relationship or while you were dating, it means you will never see it anymore.
Yes. So that's the problem. Just like you said, Obi, you would never see it. So if she doesn't see it now and correct it now, eventually if she gets into the marriage, definitely we all know that it's something that it's continuous. It's going to continue.
Okay.
And then there's nothing she could do about it. And the dangers are, you could eventually, like, disease is just roaming everywhere nowadays.
That's right.
You could be at home innocently, and then he goes out, comes back. The next thing, you're both sick. Because I've seen this happen a lot of times here. Men go out, leaving their wives at home. The next thing they come back, the wife is sick. She gets sick. She doesn't even know what's wrong. When she goes to the hospital, boom, she's sick. So I believe that,
and HIV or STD is roaming around everywhere.
Hepatitis, everything is just roaming everywhere. So I believe that if your spouse or someone you're in a relationship with is actually womanizing, I believe that if you pray and then eventually the person keeps on doing it, you talk to the person keeps on doing it, there's no change. I think if you have the strength to stay, you could, but if you don't, it will be much more safer to be on your own, especially when you have kids to cater for.
Thank you very much, Ms. Mbasiti. In addition to your contribution and to the answer to the question, you know, a lot of times people just feel I'm dating a womanizer, and because I'm dating a womanizer, there's nothing wrong with it. When I marry him, I will change him. No, you can't change anybody. You can't. Nobody wants to marry to be changed. Everybody wants to marry to be loved. So if you're dating someone who is womanizing, if it's something just like he said you cannot take, it's better to walk out of that relationship. Because if you cannot condone it, because if you look at relationship, love and marriage, it has to do a lot with patience. Like they say, love is patient, love is kind, love is this, love is that. So dating is a time for you to actually know this person, perhaps also know if you can actually take in the strength and the weakness of the person. So if it's something you cannot take, it's better to just end it there and don't push further into relationship. So dating a man with womanizing and believing that you will change him, in most cases it doesn't work that way, but in some cases it works, especially when a man is into the woman and he realize and get to know that, okay, what I'm doing is actually wrong and could actually cost both of us our lives. He can decide to change, but some men will not change. So don't get into a relationship with somebody perhaps thinking or believing that the person will change from his womanizing attitude. Thank you, Ms. Mbasiti. We have another question for you again, and the question goes, somebody said, thank you so much, ma. I've learned a lot from your previous episode, and I have a lot of issues that are bothering my heart, and I want to pour it out here. And she went on to say, what do you say about a man who actually takes you out for several dates, and after taking you out, he asks you for a relationship, and at the end of the day, he cuts off from you after seeing your parents, introducing you to his family member, and then he cuts off from you.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Just like that. After relationship, going out, dating.
Yeah. And if you look at the organogram of dating, it has to start from meeting the person. In that meeting the person, you go out for a date. The essence of going out for a date is to ensure that you get to know this person very well in details, and then if you see that actually you can actually work in line with this person, and then you push further into relationship, and in relationship you get to see finish. And if you can see finish and get to also love the person to a better standard or a higher level, you now push into marriage. That's when courtship begins, and then the wedding, and then the marriage begins. So in this, what do you think? What's your advice to this person?
Okay,
Thank you.
my advice to this person. Okay, I don't know on what perspective she's actually referring it to, but then if someone just cuts off without calling, talking, or getting back to you after everything, I think it has to do with maybe something happened. Maybe there might be something that happened, or character. You don't know how the character is. People don't. It's very hard for people to actually know who they are. It's very difficult to tell people, okay, you have these issues,
Okay.
and they accept it easily.
That's right.
It's very, very difficult. So that's why I said I don't know what perspective she's talking about, but it may be because he has something about her that he's been trying to correct,
Okay.
and he knows that he can't actually continue with it.
That's right.
Or he has someone else that he's seeing, or he may be just tired of the old stuff. But to me, I feel like there are certain characteristics that are in a relationship. That is why, just like you said, it's good for us to get to know each other. That's why there's series of procedures before the relationship, before getting into courtship. So I actually believe he might have seen something that he may not want, either with her or maybe with the family, or something that she does that he doesn't actually like. I mean, he's been trying to correct it, and if she's not willing to learn or to correct it, it becomes a problem.
Yeah, because this the answer to this question you've given is actually very genuine, because if you look at the episode 4, Hookup, or an actual relationship of the New Rules of Dating series, a lot of questions, just similar questions pops out, because in the episode I actually spoke about how you get to know if a man actually is hooking up with you or in a relationship with you. And I spoke about how the guy will not even introduce you to his family members and to his friends and his counterparts, be it work counterparts, and sometimes he won't even call you, he just chose to text you. And some of the question pops out, and a lot of people are like, okay, sometimes, like, there was a question came up that there was a guy who actually introduced her to his friends and family, and after introducing him and all of that, and in fact, it got to a point that it looks as though they were going to settle down together in marriage, but and then boom,
Over.
everything was over. So now, if just like what you've said, in addition to what she has said, just like she has said, sometimes there are a lot of characters that you might portray that might get the other opponent worried and get the person scared of being in a relationship with you, or taking the relationship or the date furthermore. Because sometimes you think introducing, like I said in my previous video, episode 4, hookup or an actual relationship, even though it's one of the characteristics of the fact that a man should introduce you to his friends, to his family, and also follow up with calls and texting and checking up on you, planning the future with you. A lot can also, there are exceptional cases that can actually happen that way, and you don't end up with the person. Why? Because there are characteristics, there are things that actually the person has found within the family in the course of acquaintanceship, got to find out in the family, within your friends and in your life, and probably he has spelled out once or twice, and then you have refused to change. That can actually chase the man away or chase the woman away, which is what we call character content. So thank you, Miss Mbasiti, for joining us on today's show. Thank you for the questions you've answered. We'll be happy and glad to receive you more on this show. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Once again, if this is your first time of being on the show, ensure you click the red button, subscribe and notification button on YouTube, and on Instagram and Facebook, ensure you follow and then you like the page. Thank you once again for joining us on this show. See you some other time.